right, what is going on, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. Today we are checking out the Wampler CRYPTID. It's a fuzz pedal, but it's a very versatile fuzz pedal. The idea behind it was to get all the kind of iterations, or at least Brian's Wampler's favorite iterations, into one box. So everything from like the classic fuzz face thing to maybe a tone bender, all the way to some of the big muff circuits, and kind of everything in between in the way that it dials. I'm really impressed with the versatility of it. It's definitely not a one-trick pony, and it covers all of those parameters really, really nicely. So let's get right into what's on top of it. You've got 4 potentiometers. You have volume, fuzz, tone, and character. We know what the volume does. The fuzz is going to be the amount of fuzz. Tone control, we'll check it out in the demo, does what you think it does. This character control is really more of a bias control, but the way I'm hearing it is it's also kind of a tonal control, and we'll get into it in the demo. But for me, it's more tone and feel. But as you start turning it all the way to the right or clockwise, it gets really spitty. As you turn it, obviously, all the way counterclockwise, it gets tighter and more focused. But we will definitely check that out in the demo. There are 2 3-way toggle switches on this thing. The one on the bottom is the tight switch. Down is considered the stock setting or position. In the middle, it's definitely tighter. And then in the up position, there's a lot of bass. If you go from the tight, which would be in the middle, to the down position, it does add a little bit more low end. But as I mentioned, that's considered the stock setting. We'll check it out in the demo. There's also the chime switch, which is up above that. That deals with the top end on the pedal. In the down position, that's considered stock. In the middle position, there's no chime, or kind of that top end addition or presence. In the up position, you're going to hear quite a bit more of that presence. This switch is more like a, like a present circuit, or almost like a bright circuit would work, in that if you have the fuzz like all the way up, it's going to be way less noticeable. I would say anywhere from noon and down, it's pretty darn apparent. We'll check it out in the demo, but that's what that's doing. And then, of course, you've got your bypass switch, pedal-friendly input and output on the top of the pedal. Let's check this thing out. It is the Wampler CRYPTID. All right, you guys know the drill. Here's the guitar into the amp. And here is the CRYPTID. right, so just kind of rambled through some settings there. I like how versatile this thing is because it can go from, at least in my opinion, to my ears, I hear like a tone bender. Sometimes I hear like a straight ahead kind of silicone fuzz, all the way to the, like the muff fuzz circus that had all that massive low end and saturation all in the same pedal. As you heard, it does back off really nicely. Even in the most extreme settings, it seems to back off really well. One thing I will say, it's not the pedal. The pod on this thing is all scratchy again, so it's gonna scratch. All right, let's check out this, what would be considered stock settings. So according to the manual, in the down setting on both these switches, it's considered stock. So we'll listen to the tight switch first. I'll just kind of set things kind of random. So that's really handy. I mean, I tended to gravitate toward it in that center position just because it was more like really a distortion at that point, at least to me, and how it felt, especially for rhythm passes. But, if you want once again, to go from that just by throwing a switch to really what feels to me more like a going from a distortion to a muff fuzz. And then in that down position, even though it's considered stock, from that center position, there's a little more lows. Or a lot more. So that's what's going on there. Let's check out the chime switch. Right now it's in the down position, which I believe is actually adding just a little bit of top. Why don't we do this? Let's go center. So it's kind of like a bright cap. I'm going to go ahead and turn the fuzz up a bit. It's definitely more subtle in that down position, but I do hear not just a little bit more of that top end or chime coming through, but I hear a little bit of mid presence in that setting. But that's what that switch is doing. I'm going to leave that in the center, and let's go ahead and sweep the tone control. So depending on how you have it dialed between the chime switch and the tone, there's quite a bit of variety there. I tended to land about right there with it, just my own personal taste. Let's check out the character. Now the character is more like a bias control, so check it out. So with that thing all the way clockwise, to me this is more of kind of an overdrive / distortion thing. So it's really kind of a tone and feel control. All the way over to the right, it's going to get really spitty, as you'd expect, you know, in like a bias type circuit. All the way to the left, it's going to be tighter. I liked it around here. I liked it about right there for rhythm and solo. Around here feels really good to me. Backs off great. So that's what that's doing. Here's the actual fuzz. That's what's going on there. Tons of saturation. I can't imagine needing more. Let's listen to the volume. What I dig about this is I can roll that all the way up and everything stays pretty active. That's kind of cool. There's plenty of push. If you want to push the amp harder, these controls still seem to be pretty active even with the fuzz rolled all the way off. So that is the CRYPTID. If you've got any other questions about it, definitely go to the website, Wampler website, and check it out. And as always, I really appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you on the next one.